Correia versus Pannie Kianzad is a women's bantamweight bout. Correia has achieved a pretty good record, 11 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. Pannie Kianzad has a record, 13 wins, 5 losses. Alright, so Pannie Kianzad so far has only 2 fights inside the UFC, and they were against Julia Avila and Jessica Rose Clark. In her fight with Julia Avila, Pannie actually achieved 1 takedown in the fight, but that didn't help much as Julia Avila, first off, achieved a knockdown in the fight. She had double the strikes and 16 more significant strikes. This fight was pretty much a wake-up call for Kianzad, as her striking in this fight, it was far less than superb. But she actually ended up working on her striking, and in her next fight, she did much, much better. In that fight against Jessica Rose Clark, she did very good as she had more than 30 significant strikes, and in the fight, I got to see how good she is at trading. But she does it in an impressive manner as when she's trading, she's good at landing like 2 shots and getting hit maybe once or maybe no times and just getting out of there. I think that'll be a really good help in this fight. Alright, now let's take a look at Bethe Correia. Bethe Correia is a big example of what a true veteran UFC fighter is, as she's been fighting in the UFC since 2013. In her first fight against Julia Kianzad, she won a very close decision victory. In her next fight after that, she fought against someone with a record of 3-5. And, she destroyed her. But, 3-5. After that fight, she fought Shayna Baszler, and she did the best she ever did, as she had 5 times the strikes and 8 times the significant strikes, and early in round 2, she knocked Shayna Baszler out. After that fight, she fought in probably her biggest fight of her entire career against Ronda Rousey, and I gotta say, it was a very disappointing performance, as in just under 35 seconds, Ronda Rousey KO'd Bethe Correia. After that loss, she fought Raquel Pennington, and in my opinion, that fight could have gone either way, with Correia having more strikes, but with Pennington have more significant strikes. But anyway, Raquel Pennington ended up winning the fight by decision, which, as I said, that fight could have gone either way. After that fight, she fought a previous title challenger and previous number 1 contender in Jessica Eye in another very close fight, as this time Correia had more strikes and Eye had more significant strikes, but Bethe Correia won the fight by decision. Her next fight after that was against Marion Reneau, and in the fight, Marion was absolutely dominating on the feet, with Correia doing okay on the ground, and the stats for that fight were 68 strikes for Correia and 153 strikes for Reneau. Not to mention that Reneau had also double the significant strikes, and honestly, I think that was another loss for Correia. But, the judges thought differently for some reason and made it a draw. So, I guess that's that. After that fight, she fought Holly Holm in an pretty uneventful fight, as all the way up to the 3rd round, it just wasn't really that eventful. And in the 3rd round, Holly actually knocked Correia out. After that loss, Correia just went on a 2-year break from MMA, and she came back and fought Irene Aldana in a close fight, all the way up until the end of the fight, where Aldana achieved a submission. In her next fight after that, against Sijara Eubanks, she actually ended up winning the fight by decision, even though she was getting pretty much beat everywhere in the fight, and honestly, I think Sijara Eubanks won that fight too. Alright, so lots of people right now are saying that this fight is going to be a close one, and that either fighter can win, but honestly, I don't really think so. I think because Bethe Correia is 37 years old, and in my opinion, she didn't look very good in her last fights, and I don't really think she's going to look that good in these fights too, and just because Pannie has just looks so much better in her last fights, I have Pannie Kianzad winning the fight by decision. Alright, if you agree, disagree, or just have something to say, make sure to put in the comment section below, and make sure to get back to every single one of those comments. Make sure to like, subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss the absolute best MMA content out there. It's been fun, but I'm out of here.